Folks, you're not going to believe this, but I was actually just shared some information about two unbelievable concepts and ideas that are being proposed out there right now. And one of them is something called Ectolife. I believe it's Ectolife, where they're saying now that they can manufacture and grow babies, people, similar to what was described in the Matrix, and how the machines were growing people for energy instead of them being born. Not to mention the selection of attributes and characteristics and how you can genetically just choose whatever you want your child to be. Unreal. In addition to moving towards, I think we're only a few months away from clinical trials on clones, on humans being a thing. So there's that. But then there's also something that was shared with me called the Meat Project. I think it was called the Meat Project, or Human Meat Project or something. Crazy, shocking, unbelievable if I didn't actually see it for myself while doing my research. Yeah, so folks, beware. I don't know. Welcome back. Hey, it's Kevin 24/7. I had a comment where somebody asked, I posted a video recently where I was discussing Executive Order 14067. I shared a clip of Jim Rickards, the progression and future of central-based digital currency, the transitioning away from cash, physical dollars, how it can affect people with savings and money in savings, any amount valued over $2,500. And a question or a comment came through with a question which asked, hey, does this apply to credit unions? And I believe somebody actually responded before I could. So I appreciate that. I appreciate everybody working together to help each other to try to provide answers and solutions and just help people along in navigating these crazy and chaotic times of economic financial uncertainty. But the short answer is I don't think there's going to be any way around it. So bank, credit union, whatever it may be, whatever institution, neobank, fintech, whatever. There's a push. There's a push. There's a big reason for the push. That it's obviously it boils down to tracking and control. But you know, with the amounts of outrageous government spending and poor monetary policy, basically what it boils down to is they want to have the ability to tax as much as they can tax, even though they've already taxed it, and just tax more and tax more and tax more. So we have to wait and see what this will actually end up being. But there's a simple philosophy, in my opinion, around it. And if you guys haven't seen it, go check out the video. It's a quick video. It's a shorter video. But the thing is that the credit unions are theoretically better than the big banks as far as how they're structured and how they're run and the fees, and you know, their design and their purpose to, you know, actually serve a greater good for the account holders. And you know, I would definitely, if you don't have a credit union, I would probably recommend adding that to your to-do list, maybe making it a top priority. But it still comes down to one of the basic principles that I shared with you in that video. And we can discuss that more on a future video. So if you'd like me to make a dedicated video specifically for that, just let me know and I can add it to the list. But right now I wanted to share some information with you guys that, you know, I want to say it's shocking, but I honestly can't really bring myself to agree with that, because it's real. It's real. We saw it coming. If you didn't see it coming, well, then welcome to the channel, because I believe if you continuously watch this channel and engage with the content that I create, most importantly, listening all the way through before passing judgment and making sure that you are interpreting titles and thumbnails with an open mind. These are things that we saw coming, but if not, and you need help witnessing and understanding and realizing and preparing for what's to come, well, come along, follow along with us. That's all we're trying to do here, is, you know, identify what's going on and track the trends, examine history, and make some wise and intelligent, smart decisions as we prepare ourselves for what is likely to come. But I'm going through the comments, folks, and you know, we got some pretty standard comments here. So yeah, I'm going through the comments, and you know, I appreciate the folks out there who are stepping up to the plate and sharing this information, because there's a bigger picture here that we need to be aware of and working to survive beyond just growing food and trying to build a farm or a homestead or anything like that. There's nothing wrong with that, but the struggle, the biggest struggle that most people will face, let's just say that were the answer, get a homestead and start growing food. Well, for some people, they would have to go buy the property, the land, the fertile land, to be able to do that. But they're in a financial bind and basically a prisoner financially. They would never have the money to do that, the ability to put a down payment down, the credit, the job history, the income, which is why we have to discuss these topics, folks. So this one says that plenty of jobs, but not enough pay. I went out last night, 5 businesses in a row were closed due to staffing shortages. Unreal. And I see it more and more. Maybe the people that will be flooding the border next week can just bust them to these businesses that are closed due to staffing shortages. Now, I've got many videos that go into detail about businesses and the likelihood of their future survival, if that, and or their closing, staffing, etc., etc. But 5 in a row, I think it's a sign of the times, and should come as a very, very stern warning for what is likely to occur next year, with some shocking information that I have received from several business owners that you guys are going to want to make sure that you're paying attention to. I'd like to know more about where this was, what 5 businesses were they, but a lot of businesses are looking for ways to cut costs. So one way to cut costs is to cut back on your workforce. Another way to cut costs is to cut back on your hours. I see a lot of places trying to limit themselves to one shift, which means that they're only going to be open for about 8 hours a day, and there's no overtime opportunities. They may even be closed for 2 or 3 days out of the week. My area is a little different. It's a little unique because we are in a tourist-based area, but it's a high-income tourist area. So the business models here are a little different than everywhere else, because these folks here seasonally, you know, economy good, economy bad, whatever, typically this is how they conducted business anyway, and the local economy supports them very, very strongly, which was actually really cool, because we continuously meet. We're meeting more people now that we're here. We met some really cool local business owners and helping to support them. If you guys want to know more about that, go check out Squirrel Tribe. She put up a video where she shared a lot of information about some really cool folks down here doing some great things that need more exposure, so that more people can be aware of the quality of products that they provide and be better educated on how perhaps maybe some other products are not as high quality. I'll just leave it at that. Perhaps potentially better for your health to go this route. So This one says that back in 2016, my husband was making about $120,000 a year. I was a stay-at-home mom to our newborn, rent was reasonable, and we lived comfortably. Fast forward to now, where my husband is now a fire captain and signing up for at least 5 to 6 extra days per month overtime, making just shy of $200,000 per year, and we can barely make ends meet. Still, a stay-at-home mom of 2 now, but we are like, where's the money going? Just a Costco run for meat, diapers, fruit, batteries, and he spent $400. Then he gassed up the car for $75. He works so much and we rarely see him. Our son is autistic and can't keep up in school, and I'm going to have to homeschool him, and it's going to kill us financially if I can't get back to work. I feel for those who are losing everything, including medical insurance, their cars, homes, etc. It's so sad to see what's going on in the world today. And folks, this is why I stress the importance of, not to say that these folks are not doing these things, but this is why I stress the importance for so many. There's so many people out there that are in these situations that don't bring in $200,000+ a year. And this is why I stress the importance of earning more money, increasing your income, increasing income producing streams, saving money, spending less, budgeting wisely, eliminating high interest revolving consumer debt, saving money, investing, producing returns on your investments, having cash flow producing assets, because this is a clear indication of how the economy, how life in general can just like easily run through your cash and your savings and put you on a high level of stress and anxiety with literally nowhere to turn. This one says, I have a small online business, had it since 2001. Nothing fancy, but it supports me and my family. One platform I sell on usually averages between $3,000 and $4,000 during the month of December. I'm usually working 12 hours a day, 7 days a week during the Christmas season. This month, sales have fallen flat. I've made $800. I've been applying for jobs since the beginning of December, and so far I've had 0 callbacks. The last time I've had poor sales like this was during the Great Recession. I've been paying attention and preparing, so I have a little cushion, but it won't take much for it to be gone. Meantime, my husband's co-workers firmly believe that the economy is fine and everything is fine. They do not see the layoffs or even believe that they may face layoffs. Auto manufacturer. So many people are struggling right now, and so many more are going to be blindsided in the near future. And I really hate to think that this is actually the path of destruction that many are going down, and they don't even realize it. But Missy actually speaks volumes to a lot of the key points that I've been hitting on here recently, that I'm actually getting pushback and negative comments and hateful emails and a lot of like disrespectful people just attacking me for trying to spread knowledge and wisdom and truth and experience and education to help people avoid these pitfalls, these financial pitfalls that can have a long-lasting detrimental effect on your physical and mental health, the strength of relationships, marriages, divorce rates going up. And yeah, there are people out there that everything seems fine at the moment, but you know, unfortunately, these are the people who are neglecting to prepare because it's fine for them. And being an auto manufacturer, I don't know. That one's a tough one. That one's a tough one because the auto manufacturers are changing the way that they do business. So I'm not sure about that one. I got to think about that one. Missy K, if you would, please reach out to me. I'd like to know more and discuss more about your business, because going from $3,000 to $4,000 a month down to $800, I'd like to discuss some things with you and possibly see if we can get that back up, if not better than what it was, through some minor tweaks and changes in strategy, which is what we discuss all the time with the folks in the network. I got some real stellar, outstanding folks over there really kicking butts. We got Trucking Prepper, Doug, we got Scott, we got John Hughes. I'm really excited for what you guys are doing and what you are accomplishing. We got some other newcomers that are jumping in both feet, seeing results. I'm very happy there. But you know, holiday sales, consumer spending, it changes, but then you've got like, again, you got the pushback of people out there trying to convince you that you're crazy and that there's nothing to worry about. And I'm not saying that you should worry, but there's definitely things out there that we need to be paying attention to and preparing for. And people always say, well, Kevin, all you do is pump fear. All you do is deliver bad news. All you do is try to scare people. It's like, this is real, folks. Y'all left these comments. Y'all left these, like, not everybody, but these comments were left on my videos by viewers. I'm not making this up. I'm only trying to connect with these people because, one, they realize it, they identify it, they understand it. And two, is because if we don't address the problem, it's just going to continuously get bigger and worse. And when it gets bigger and worse, that's when people really hit rock bottom, have huge mental issues. Mental health is a big concern, and potentially, you know, will, I don't even know what this means. And then they will potentially face eviction, foreclosure, bankruptcy, tossed out on the street, homeless, living in their cars. It's not just about the clicks, folks. It's not just about the clicks and the views and everything else that comes with it. It's about connecting and trying to help people who want to be helped, especially those people who want to be helped before there's a problem. That's the easiest way to help and receive the help, is before there's a problem, before you have all that extra weight pushing down on you. But unfortunately, a lot of people just, they don't want to agree, they don't want to listen, they don't want to believe, they don't want to even think that a problem could occur, so they just ignore it and wait. Hopefully it doesn't happen, but if it does, then what are you going to do? This one says, it's just the beginning. I thought it was going to get bad. I was wrong. It's going to be horrific. People are and will lose everything. Keep the videos coming, Kevin. I appreciate that, Steve. Thank you. Now, just, I got to throw this out there. If I were to make a title and a thumbnail that says, it's just the beginning, I thought it was going to get bad. I was wrong. It's going to be horrific. People are and will lose everything. I get, you know, you would think like I committed a crime or something, and I just get blasted for it. But I'm under the impression and the mindset and thought process of, no, I gotta fight through this. I gotta keep doing it, because the forces that are being that are against me are the ones that want people to fail. They want people to ignore the signs and not prepare. Those are the forces that are out there working against me. I saw a clip the other day, and it showed a few clips. I think it showed like, oh man, it was a PGA championship, maybe Bubba Watson or something, a boxer. There was a few athletes on TV, and it was a clip, it was a short, and it said, see what happens when they mention Jesus. And every time they mentioned Jesus, the video feed would go out, the news anchor would like shiver and be like, you know, oh my God, I can't believe you just said that. It was amazing.
This is the real footage, but this is the tampered footage.
Andre, congratulations. How do you turn this around?
Man, first off, I need the first thing my Lord and Savior, this man just...
The issue is sin. It makes us, our sin that's in us makes us do those things. And the only salvation for this sin is the gospel. The only way to really cure that what's on the inside is understanding that Jesus Christ died for our sins. And so to me, on a micro level, it's understanding.
Nope, and just like that, we lost him. I know.
Masters champion, Bubba Watson.
And then second, I got to thank my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. This day means so much more than putting on this green jacket in many ways.
All right, so a technical glitch there.
These are the evil forces that are preventing this from being shared. And I believe that it's occurring here too, from an economic and financial position and point of view, because all the evil forces want are for people to fail, for people to be slaves, for people to struggle, for people to be angry and create conflict. And I don't even understand why you would want to do that. Like, I don't get it. This one says, this decline is happening nationwide. Everything is far too expensive. All we could do now is pray for everybody. That is not all you can do. We can do more. We ourselves can do more for ourselves. We as people can do more for other people. Sure, yes, pray for everybody, but we don't need to just give up and say that's it. We do need to take action and physically try to make changes to prepare. Plain and simple. I can see people starting to live with their family members and trying to make do. I know that it will be difficult for everyone, but it will take this type of situation for everyone to be able to make ends meet. Please pray for one another and pray for your family and friends in these difficult times. Now, I posted a video where I was sharing with you information about how a Florida multifamily unit property investor out of Texas was explaining to me about how they were going to increase the cost of the rent for multiple and variety of reasons, which is now forcing some people who are barely affording it as it was to be displaced and having to move because they can't afford the new price once the lease renewals are up, and bringing in higher income folks to live in lower income housing. It's crazy. We're basically getting to a point where you have to make a lot of money just to be broke, just to be poor. With all the housing benefits and the SNAP program, no one in this country should ever have to resort to living in their car. This is a willful choice. How sad they would put their children through this when they could get assistance. I'm not convinced. I'm not saying that this is an evil force, but I am saying that this is an uneducated and perhaps maybe blinded, shielded, coddled, naive force. Because yeah, sure, some people are being forced out and forced to live in their car. Some people are doing it by choice. However, with all the housing benefits and SNAP program, no one in this country should ever have to resort to living in their car. That means you have no idea how government assistance programs work. You have no idea how they work. You don't know that people will go through great lengths to apply and hope and pray only to receive a notification that they're going to get $12 a month in SNAP benefits. $12. Who's going to survive on $12 a month for food? You know, housing benefits. You say these things, but you know nothing about them. Housing benefits. There's a housing shortage, let alone housing affordability crisis. Like, come on. I mean, you're saying it's a willful choice? Yes, I said some people choose to live in their cars, live in their vans. We did it for a month and a half traveling the country this summer because we really wanted to do it. But we lived in a van by choice, a luxury Sprinter, Mercedes Sprinter van. Like, that was by choice. The people who are being forced and have all their worldly possessions in their cars, I'm sure is not always a willing choice. And I would urge you and encourage you to become more educated on some of these matters before you open your mouth and speak. But with that being said, this is why I continue to do what I do, is because I want to reach the people, one, that need further education like yourself, but also the others that actually need the help to help them along and point them in perhaps maybe better directions and show them ways and options that could help them avoid these unwilling situations. I was at a rest stop getting a coffee and I noticed a guy living in his car. It blew me away. I've heard about people living in their vans and cars, but never actually seen it until then. And you know, I grew up, I was born in New York. I grew up in Atlanta. I traveled a lot. We live at the beach. We see homelessness all the time. Various degrees of homelessness and reasoning why. I'm not surprised anymore when I see it at all. And now I actually pick up on it and identify it better. But some of it is by choice. And, you know, it could be a minimalistic lifestyle approach to say, I don't need more than the square footage I have here. And my goal is to, you know, perhaps maybe just lower my overhead, my monthly expenses, so that I can, oh man, I'm trying to remember the term for it. but it's basically to save a lot of money and retire sooner and then live off of a smaller budget. Okay, it's FIRE. So it's FIRE, and FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And a lot of people have this goal in their lives to pull this off. Check out Dr. Hannah Straight. She chose to live in a Ford F-250 Super Duty to accelerate the speed at which she could pay off her student loans and become financially free while building a business, a coffee business in her truck, traveling the country. Nikki Delventhal used to live in a Toyota Prius with her dog. I don't remember what her dog's name is, with her dog. And now she still does it. Odds are she doesn't need to, but that's just her life choice. Kara and Nate, they lived out of their van for a good portion of time. But their goals coincided with the choices that they made. However, some folks are not that fortunate and they are being forced into these situations. And those that are being forced in these situations, we need to discuss this and strategize and formulate plans to avoid catastrophic economic failure. And for the others who are actually taking action to accelerate their personal financial growth goals, we can talk about those too. It's all about making progress, folks. My neighbor, Patty, I love Patty. She's always sending great information. My neighbor told me her nephew is sharing a house in New Jersey with 7 people now because they can't afford to live 2 years ago. Because they can't afford to live there. 2 years ago, 2 could have done it. Prepare now because it's hitting rock bottom. I just got back from groceries, $7 for 24 organic tea bags. Yeah, the prices are up. The prices are going to continue to go up. We are moving towards the likelihood of multiple families and or generations having to share a living space under one roof just because of the higher costs. Meanwhile, the employment and income levels are not keeping up, and it is a perpetual cycle that isn't necessarily being discussed enough in a way that can actually produce real returns of achieving success to a point of which you can live comfortably, and you don't necessarily, you can understand and agree that the price of organic tea bags are high, but it doesn't prevent you from buying them. And while doing that, you can continuously grow your business, grow investments, grow your savings, and help other people along the way that may not have the experience, knowledge, and education that you have and the wisdom that you have when it comes to financial literacy, so that we can perhaps maybe counter all the negative and evil energy out there and help more people than are destined right now to be hurt in this economic collapse. When I say economic collapse, like, yeah, sure, the dollar is going to get taken over by a central bank digital currency at some point, more than likely. Yeah, cryptocurrency will be more widely used, perhaps, maybe. And there will be social credit scores and different things like that. But the economic collapse is going to be a collapse of what we once knew as we move towards what we will soon know. But more importantly, the economic collapse is basically a general roundabout way of saying that the folks out there who are not financially educated, prepared, and or preparing, they are going to more than likely suffer great consequences when and as these shifts and these changes and these evolutions occur, and they're going to see their worlds collapse. Businesses are going to see collapse, but much like they've seen them before, and businesses go out of business, they go bankrupt, acquisitions and mergers, liquidations, new businesses pop up, old ones go away. It's the circle of life, folks. But only the strong and the smart will survive. Which one are you?